Hello, everybody. How are you doing? My name is Jabulile Buthelezi-Kalonji. Now, I have had an absolute honor and privilege of chatting to Keziah Jerono Rachel, otherwise known as DJ Kezz, all the way from Kenya. She is a Kenyan singer, female DJ, songwriter, and performer who's been making music since the year 2021 after transitioning from a secular world as a secular DJ. In about 3 years, among other things, DJ Kezz used to play her music and used her platforms to raise money to build a church in her hometown during the COVID era. She was able to raise money and visited also some of the families that were affected during the COVID pandemic and did amazing philanthropic work over there. One of her greatest inspiration is how her grandmother was one of the stalwarts who actually brought and introduced the Adventist faith in their region, part of Kenya. And this has, she says, has been one of the most amazing inspirations behind her drive as a woman and artist today. Now, she boasts an incredible discography. Among others, it's Hodi, Natetewa, Achicha, Tenda, Kilele, which she features DJ Kezz and Benachi in it, and Unaweza featuring Guardian Angel, as well as Jipende featuring Guardian Angel. And I must tell you, I already have one of my favorite songs with her. It's called Moyo Wangu, which she is in collaboration with Guardian Angel on it, and it simply means my heart. Let me not hold you out any longer. Let's get to see and hear what she has to say about a few amazing things. Enjoy.
Yeah. I would honestly say that it is a combination of so many challenges. One being the fact that, as I said, DJing is a male-dominated industry, so there's less women. And then there is the fact that I am a gospel DJ, which again, there is a lot less of those in comparison to the others. And then there's the fact that now I am an Adventist, and that means there is even lesser. The numbers keep going lower and lower and lower.
In the Adventist space. Yeah.
And I think it's been such an eye-opening situation, because I consider myself a very strong woman from how I was raised, who raised me, and the experiences that I've had to go through in life. I feel and I know that these are the things that have made me the person that I am today. And in my space, I am a pace setter. So there isn't a lot of people that I would look to when it comes to how this is supposed to be done. But I hope that one day there are going to be many people who look to what I am doing right now and think this is the way it was done. Yeah. So I'm doing the best that I can. I'm making mistakes, which is 100% okay. Yeah. And I am living it very loudly, truthfully, and I'm making a way where people one day will hopefully run where I am walking. Yes.
That's profound, because the challenges you're facing right now as you're trying to embrace yourself and be authentic in your artistry as an artist and a Seventh-day Adventist woman, an African woman, and just an artist in general. When people get to where you are now, they will be able to just float over, because you are pretty much answering some of those questions, fighting some of those battles. A very, very difficult task. Yeah. I don't think that's easy at all. People take for granted, the pave makers, the path makers. It's never easy. I want to quickly talk about your achievements, because this is not just also the art or the talent and the euphoria of, oh, this is what I do, but it's paying off. You are winning. You are definitely the best in what you do. And this is pretty significant, right? Because then it affirms what you've been called to do and what you have then resolved that you want to become. You then won the upcoming Artist of the Year Maranatha Awards. And this particular helped you establish you as a rising star in the Kenyan music scene. And since then, you literally have released one EP with 4 songs, 4 singles, 4 collaborations. One that has a song I like with one of the top gospel artists. So you pretty much just went on and just took on Kenya by storm. Tell us about that.
Yes. it's been a beautiful experience. And I think this is one of the things that I would say is very good about people who can take risks and who do not agree to be put in a box, because we already have everything we need inside us. God put it inside us to be anything that He has purpose for us to be. And with me, it's music. So I do the best that I can. I put everything that I have. I do not care if it's my time, if it's my emotion, if it's my money, if it's my family, whatever it is that I can put into this ministry that I have, and seeing it pay off in the way that it has. And not just the award, but I am the female gospel of the artist this year in Kenya. And this is in singing, imagine. So there is work that I'm doing as a singer, there's work that I'm doing as a DJ. Combine all that, I'm making strides that just uplift me. And I hope and I see that it uplifts other people as well. But ditto to me, and I'm taking it even further and further and doing the best that I can even more.
Absolutely.
Yes. Maybe I'll invite you to my album, my first album launch that I'm planning to have very soon. You can come in all the way from South Africa.
We are already there. And in my view, we need to actually get to see you at a global stage now. I think Africa is great. And you are definitely a Kenyan gem. And that's the platform that you absolutely belong to. You spoke about giving back and giving your all in everything you do. And this ethic has been evident. If somebody follows you, your work on social media, which has a massive, massive following, and also ties this to humility, which, you know, in normal instances, when people have such a large following, the element of humility is really not there. But you've been able to a nice balance between being this massive artist who's very good and diligent in what they do, and being very grounded and very humble in your sense of, you know, just your essence as a person. But this has gone further to you, and I really need to say this because I hope young people will learn from this, that you've been able to really go back to a church that didn't really take you, not to say take you seriously, but a church that really, you know, excommunicated you and haven't really been kind to some extent. And you took the very art that you have been blessed with, that you decided to embrace, and you took earnings and hard-earned money from this art to take it to a church that in South Africa, we easily just put it as, you know, they threw you under the bus. But you went back to people who threw you under the bus. Allow me to freely say and be frank about it, to say you went back there, you decided to build, collaborate, and contribute. And I must say significantly. I mean, the church does cost, I think, about 10 million Kenyan shillings. That's not some small change. And you were a significant instrument, I mean, you were quite instrumental in the construction of that. What inspired that, and what element of or what value were you hoping to teach those coming after you, to say, even though, you know, you don't sometimes get a nice deal in life, but always the bigger person? I don't know. I don't want to answer for you, but why did you do that? What was your inspiration behind that? You could have just walked away, but you went and became the most amazing human being to do goodwill.
Yes, thank you. That is very kind of you. I say that it isn't me, but Christ in me, that has given me everything that I have, including all the hardships that I've had to go through. Back then, I'd look at what I went through, from the mistakes that happened to excommunication, to being so mad at God and being out of church for more than 4 years. And I'd look at it and I'd say, and I'd call it a pain. Right now, I look at it and I call it a preparation. I was being prepared for something that was bigger than me. Sometimes you have to carry hardships in a certain way so that somebody else who gets to go through it knows how to carry it as well, or has a way of saying, if DJ Kezz did it, I can do it too. And that's why I'm very passionate about young mothers. do everything that I can. And I'm hoping that I'll do more in the coming future to encourage them that situations, especially this one of being young parents, teen parents, does not change the purpose and the plans that God has for you. That is in regard to that. Now, another thing that I really love to say is that what would Jesus do?
Yeah.
I like that. I like that because most of the time, what Keziah or DJ Kezz would do is tell you all to go to hell. I'm sorry, but yes, literally. In my own self, in my human self, I'd say, you guys did me wrong, you guys did me dirty, you guys did the worst thing you could have done to a young girl, and giving me that excommunication and the embarrassment and the loneliness and the whatever. And I'd be mad and I'd say, you know what? You guys can go to hell.
Yeah.
But what emulating the example of Christ, what would he do? And I think that was my motivation when it came to helping with the church, like building the church, when it came to taking care of the old and the small kids in the community. I do a lot of that. I think it is really important for me now, because I let the decisions of human beings dictate how my relationship with God was for almost 4 years. Now I know human beings stand for human beings, even those who are in position of power in church, in schools, in government, whatever. And going to schools. I do a lot of school tours to go to schools to speak to young girls and young men on sexual immorality, on drugs and substance abuse, which was something that happened to me as well, on rape and sexual assault, anything really that is in matters to them, giving them the knowledge and the information so that they can do better and they can have better experience that I did, which I consider my way of sharing my testimony. All these things I do to make sure that I remind people that despite the things that human beings can do, what Jesus would do is what I try to emulate. I try to emulate. Yes, I've been hurt. Yes, I've been made to feel bad, mad, whatever. But Jesus went through that as well. And he never once abused, complained, threw his hands up and said, you know what, whatever. No, he never once did that. So I will not do that.
Phew, it's a tough one, hey? Being Christian, not an easy road.
It is. We talk about Christianity all the time, and we talk about we are supposed to follow all the 10 commandments. We are supposed to be the 10 things that we're supposed to do. We are supposed to read the Bible. We are supposed to go to church every Sabbath. We're supposed to do all these things. We're supposed to give tithes and, the basic Christian thing. But we forget about the reality of when life meets us, where life actually meets us. When you're depressed, when you're suicidal, when you don't have food, when you go through hardships or when you lose your job, when you lose your loved ones, when you get sexually assaulted, we forget when life meets us, where life meets us. How Christian are we?
Oh,
because it's still situations sometimes that define us. Yeah.
Wow, that is profound. I must ask you this for the benefit of somebody who feels that they don't want to do church anymore and they are justified in their decision. They have been hurt, church disappointed them, and they don't want to affiliate. They don't want to hear any prayers, any Bible. They just like, thank you, SDAs, I'm good. You go on without me. Do you think the church is a safe space, though? Do you think it's a safe space for young people, especially in modern culture and with all the challenges we face, just as the world, as Africa, in our community? Then we have our wonderful SDA church. Do you think we're getting it right in terms of really building a safe space for SDA young people to thrive in it? What's your thoughts about that?
What I'm gonna say is probably going to be very controversial, because we, the church that I can speak to is the one I go to. So the Adventist Church is very welcoming for as long as you can fit in a box. For as long as you can sing without moving, for as long as you can dress a certain way, you can sing a certain way, you can preach a certain way, then we are welcoming. We can hold them, we can home them, we can house them. But once you do something that is out of the ordinary, instead of looking at it as a way of, as a new path to even research on, we immediately shut it down. This generation that we are in, of young people, of youths, are creatives. They're not teachers, they're not doctors, they're not 8 to 5 people. They are creatives, they are singers, they are dancers, they are DJs, they are writers, they are painters. They are creatives. We are not allowing them to bring that creativity they have to life. I'm not saying accept it in church if you don't want to, yeah? But we are not even looking at avenues that these creatives, this creativity that they have, could help in spreading the gospel. We have people who are blessed with things we cannot understand, people who can write poems and songs, and people who can play instruments that it would seem like it is so different, it could seem like it is unreal. And the first thing we'll do is, we don't allow that. Of course you don't allow that. It's never happened before. But you see, if we close the door on them doing them in Christ, they'll go do it somewhere else. They'll go, because that's their passion, they'll go do it somewhere else. We see people who are earning money out of singing and playing cello and spoken word and things like that in this world. Now with TikTok coming in and YouTube, and we have a lot of our youth who are getting into that, but they're not allowed to do that for the gospel because we are shunning them out. And so you close that door and they'll go somewhere where they can be accepted. And that's on you. You'll have to answer for that. Because who gave them that talent? The person who gave them that talent thought it's important for them to have it. So I pray and I hope. I'm a hard-headed person. I'm very strong to my path. And I think that's why I'm still here.
Yeah.
That's why I'm still here. I've knocked heads with a lot of these people. I do all the time. I go to places where there's young people who like to dance, and I dance. And I'm not a very good dancer, but I dance, so I can relate to them. I go to places where I go to churches. I minister not just to Adventists. I minister to people who, I go to churches on Sunday. I go to the Catholic Church, to the Salvation Army. I go sing with them. I go DJ with them. I go do the things they relate to so I can spread the gospel. That's my way. But I knock heads with a lot of people who think that should not be done.
Mm-hmm.
So I say to them, you do you, let me do me. Yeah? Just let's do it like that. And let's not be a barrier for the gospel to go forward. Mm-hmm. Now, my biggest worry is this. I may go out there and what I may do may really influence somebody to want to receive Christ and go to a church. But I'm not a pastor and I can't be everywhere. What representation will they have when they come to church? Mm-hmm. With their gift, I've gone out there and I've told them, come to Christ the way you are, because that's what the Bible says, the way you are. What happens when they come to church and they don't get the reception they thought they would? That is what worries me a lot. But I still do it. And I pray for them. And I tell God, you put me here to do a different thing. So once I've finished my work of doing the different thing, take care of the person who will receive them when they go to church. Because I can do more than I can. Yeah. But I hope that we can encourage our youths to do what they love in the church. I hate to see them doing it out there. Yeah.
I really hope so too. I think that makes the both of us. I really hope that the church can be the first platform that they choose, because the platforms are plenty. There's plenty of them, but yes. I really, really hope the church will be the one that really grabs them first, and not by force. I really hope our young people get to the point where they actually choose the church platform to at least use it as a base to say, you know what, I will serve this way. I need to ask you this, DJ Kezz. We're wrapping up now, just a few more minutes and really just a couple of questions. But with everything you've just said right now, it pins directly to, I'd say, the SDA Church call, which is I suppose, the current mission of I Will Go, which all of us are a part of. It started in 2020, which is quite interesting because that's when you started discovering.
That's when I started.
When you discovered your DJ, prowess and stuff, and it carries on to 2025, and this is where we at. This thing, this mission that says, "I will go," and I love that in one of your posts, I was like, "Okay, this girl is like," in fact, to quote what you said, I think it said, "I said I will go, and I meant it." Now I really need you.
When I said I will go, I meant it. Yes.
I mean, that's like literally linking the messaging, key messaging back to the church. And this was, of course, during a cloud of not a very easy, in the midst of social slur. Tell us about that spicy comment from you. I mean, look, you did went. Going.
Yes, you did. I did go. I saw one person who made a comment under my post and said, "Well, they didn't tell us where exactly to go, so she went. She went." I'm a pathfinder. I'm a master guide. I'm an Adventist. Our motto right now, the one for I Will Go, is to enter places where the gospel has not gotten to, and the places where it's been they may know the gospel, but they are not saved. Now, we can't do that in church. We have to go to the communities that have never heard of Christ because they're there. We have to go to the places where people who are giving it up in life and have turned to alcohol are drinking their lives away because of whatever it is. We have to go to the schools. We have to go to, and sometimes it's not even just tell them about Christ. Sometimes it's even to just tell them that they are loved, that they are cared for. Sometimes it's not going there to recruit believers. Sometimes it's going there to feed them. We're gonna go to the slums. We are going to go to people who worship, say, on Sunday. Yeah, not to recruit them to become Adventists, to tell them of the love of Christ, to show them that they are loved and cared for. See, I will go. I don't know if I take it differently than everybody else. But I am going. This is the path I have to 2025. And maybe I'll take it even further. But I want to go to the places where nobody else can go. That video that went viral, I I wasn't in a club. I was at a restaurant, let me say a resort kind of. And it was an event that would see, I knew the kind of audience that would be there would be mostly Adventists, because in our community, there's a certain community in our country where they're known to be majorly Adventists. So when they invited me to come do a set there, I was so excited. Like, oh, that's a wonderful opportunity to come connect with people who love the music that I play. Remember, I do not just play Adventist music now. I play as gospel. Yeah. So when I went there dressed in my official regalia. Because when a soldier goes to war, do they leave their outfit behind? Their uniforms? No. I went there with my regalia, fully dressed as a pathfinder, as a soldier of Christ, going to war, going to work. And that was an outreach for me. A lot of people have said, oh, there is a way that the pathfinder uniform needs to be worn and the places and all that. And then I'm like, yes. And I wore it on that day, and I will wear it again and again and again, because I'm at work. I will go. Not as a DJ, that comes second, but as a pathfinder, as a fisherman for Christ. That is my uniform. This will ruffle feathers. This will make people mad. I encourage you to feel very mad if you want to, but the work needs to be done. We cannot play with the work of Christ. We cannot play. There's so much to be done. We cannot concentrate on your anger. I would encourage you to go out there. If you're feeling very mad, go out there and speak of the love of Christ to one more person instead of calling me a bad name, So I've grown up a lot in this ministry. I'm happy about it. But I would say for certain that when I said I will go, I meant it. I meant it.
You certainly meant it.
See me go.
Yeah, you certainly meant it, that's for sure. And I must tell you, from where I'm standing as an individual, just with my own research, when I went and digged a little deeper with this I Will Go mission, from the official General Conference websites of Seventh-day Adventist, it does say mission is to strengthen and diversify Adventist outreach in large cities across a 1040 window among, and I put this in inverted commas, unreached and underreached people, groups, and non-Christian religions. And I think I'll just leave that one right there. So next question to you is, how would you like the SD community to receive your gospel or your ministry? And I want you to dwell much on this, because it's clear that it's definitely your market is beyond your SD church, but you have the market there. How would you like them to receive it in a nutshell as you continue in this ministry, in this ministry offering you have?
We are in a generation and in a time of technology. So there are going to be a lot of things that come in that the church is going to have to they're going to need to immediately tap into for the gospel to get to the places that they need to get. We may not be able to go in person, one by one, pastor, evangelist, minister, to the places that we used to do back then in the day. But I can assure you a large percentage of people in this world have a cell phone. Yes, that cell phone is a way to preach. And that's why you see these days we have online churches where people can sit down and listen to the word wherever they are in the world. The one thing that I would love for the church to start embracing is the different creatives that we have in the churches. The ones who have a huge following because of what they do, if those can be tapped into so that we can reach those followings that they have. The beauty with what I do is that the music that I play goes over the borders. You enjoy Moyo Wangu, which is a song that I wrote in Kiswahili. I wrote and sang in Swahili, and you don't understand Swahili. But the message of it, the feel of it did something to you. I don't know what it is, but it did. And to so many people out here. So I would love, and if they don't, still, I mean, they haven't until today, so I'm still okay. But I would love for the church to embrace creatives better. Find a way. We cannot be passed by time. We cannot be standing like baobab trees when the world is a raging ocean. We'll get carried away. We'll get left behind. We lose too many people. So it's time to embrace that this world is changing and find ways that we can spread the gospel with the new things that are coming in. God will guide us. He's the one that is giving us all this, the people, the wisdom to create all these things. So he'll guide us on the right path to follow when it comes to taking his message into the world using this social platform. So let's embrace it. Let's use it. Let's bless people. Let's take the youth. I love the youth. I love them. That's where my ministry is mostly around. Take care of those youths. To any church, any pastor, any person who is listening to this and is directly in a place where they can impact a youth's life, the first thing you can do for them is to accept them. That's this generation. Yeah.
Acceptance and love, nothing beats that. And then everything else follows through after that. Certainly, I cannot agree with you more. Do not tamper with the doctrine, but definitely be flexible if you can about the model channels or vehicles that you use to channel it. I think that's a fair call of engagement and collaboration. DJ Kezz, your advice to a young person watching this or who will come across this sitting anywhere in the world, who really is just struggling, not just with the SDA church, but just with the idea of church at all. It's like, I don't have time for church folk. Church folk are too much. But also because it's not just a careless view. It's because they feel unheard. They feel unseen. What would you say to them?
God sees you. God loves you. God made you, just you, for a purpose, for a reason. I would easily say that if you take a fruit away from the tree, say you had a fruit that was growing or a flower, and you pluck it out of the tree that it was growing in, it dies. Why it dies? It's because you have removed it from its source, its maker, its nourisher. That's how we are with Christ. Please leave alone men. You don't need men to like you. You don't need men to tell you what to do when God himself is telling you you're enough. God himself is telling you you're perfect. God himself is telling you I love you. You don't need no man to tell you otherwise. But a community that you can grow with is important. So even if it requires you, and I understand that it may be hard because of the things you've gone through, even if you have to read that Bible by yourself, search those Bible verses by yourself. Make sure you're not the flower that is plucked from the tree. Stay rooted to Christ, to God, not to a church, to God first. He makes all the other things so easy. He makes how you view what other people say about you and do to you so much more understandable. He gives you grace to understand, to be empathetic. He gives you strength to move on. Don't be the flower that has been plucked from the tree. Stay there. You and God.
Yeah. as the scripture says, stay connected to the vine, which is the source, right?
Yes.
I'd like to end
Yes.
it this way. There's a passage from your song. Well, I call it my song now because it's my favorite song.
All right.
I could be butchering the Swahili. I told you I'm still taking lessons on this, right?
Yes.
Sasa nakupa shukrani zangu nakupa Baba, pokea sadaka yangu ya sifa. Bwana, nakupa moyo wangu, nakupa moyo wangu mzima. And in essence, sorry for murdering it. Trust me, I'll get it right one day. In essence,
Sasa nakupa
yeah,
shukrani zangu nakupa.
there we go.
Baba, pokea sadaka yangu ya sifa. Bwana, nakupa moyo wangu, nakupa moyo wangu mzima.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Yes.
You know, to those who are not privy to Swahili, all it says is that now I give you all my thanks. Father, receive my offering of praise. Lord, I give you my heart. I give you my whole heart. I absolutely love that song.
Yes.
And I must just to double check, Kikombe is the latest single, isn't it? Is it your latest offering that's out there now?
There's one called Lango. But yes, Kikombe is one of my favorites. I love it. I love it. So you can talk about it.
Because I needed
Yes.
to just know your inspiration behind that, but I think we're gonna have to save it for those who just need to go out and buy it. They need to go buy it. They need to purchase your music, and they need to do like I did, Google the words so they can understand and pick their own favorites. We're not gonna give them everything over here. What we've given them is enough little taste of everything. Because if we were to put you down, then we really need 12 hours to talk about your incredible story as an African woman, as an SDA, as a child of God, as an artist who's definitely on her way up in her own country, Kenya, and it pretty much, in my view, across the continent and hopefully soon across the globe. So we really are going to leave it here for now. And thank you for your time, your sacrifice, your humility for engaging us. And I really hope and pray that this recording will inspire many, many beyond the borders we can even think of.
Amen. Amen. God bless you for this platform, and may it keep influencing and blessing so many people. Thank you for having me. You are wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, DJ Kezz. Talk soon. God bless. Thank you. Asante sana.
Asante. Oh, good job.
Thank you. Okay then. Goodbye.
Thank you.